Alright, in this episode we're gonna replacing the pistons in the YZ, and we're gonna use a Washner piston for replacement. I give you my take on the condition of the bike, and I show you my process of how putting it together, and on the end of course we're gonna do a ride impression. Let's get into it. What a machine! Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time to change the piston out on the YZ. We are gonna go with the Washner piston. I have that in my KTM, and I can only tell good things about it, so we're just gonna put that into the YZ. Currently the bike has 48 hours, and I really want to change the piston out because I'm revving it a lot. Just a little interesting fact, I never ever changed the spark plug. This is still the original spark plug, and I had no problem with it because I'm using the smart carb, and I don't have reach or lean condition, or I can manage it very easily if I do. And I know it's kind of like a little bit rich. It's supposed to be like white, or it's much lighter color than it is, but it doesn't look too bad after 48 hours. These are really tight. Good. I'm really satisfied the way the piston is. It has a ton of oil on it, like an oil film, so that oil that I'm using is very well worth it. Man, I have a ton of antifreeze in the crankcase. Yeah, you wanna look out for this. No, you don't wanna have you don't wanna have this left in the engine unless I'm missing something. I didn't find any drain plug or anything like that for the cylinder, and probably not exist. But you just wanna make sure you do this process before you put the engine back together. You gotta clean the crankcase out from the antifreeze. This is the first sign where I find I don't like the OEM piston. It's gonna give up a little bit over here. That's the aluminum built up around the rod. Alright, so it was about the time to change the piston for me. You see, it's burned all the way down over here, and it has wear on it everywhere, pretty much. It's not as bad, but it, you know, it was about to be time. And like I said, I'm gonna go with the Versner. This is the Versner one, and it's actually lighter than the OEM, and you can feel that by holding it in the hand. This is the setup what I'm going with. Anyway, so I can tell, you know, when I put this piston into the cylinder, I can feel it's very loose, and when I put this in, not so much, like a little bit. So yeah, I think we're gonna be good. So there is a tiny little mark on top of the ring. You want to have that facing up when you install the ring. Back in the days when I was a kid, I broke a lot of these. I actually worked at a mechanical shop in my young age in Hungary, and I broke one of these, and I didn't want to let the owner know, so I I swapped it out with a used one, and he found out, and he fired me. He did a good job by doing that. I mean, you know, it shouldn't be like that. It was a good learning curve for me. I was very young. I haven't even looked at it if I put it in right. And what's more, he was a family member for me. And he still fired me. So I just like to install one of the rings in advance. You know, these things are kind of pain to put it in, so it would be a less hassle if I do it over here. Yeah, like that. I'm gonna do this side. You make sure there's a little hole over here. You make sure you overlap that little hole. If you decided to change the ring gap, you're not gonna give yourself a hard time later on. if you want a little bit more performance out of your engine, you may want to fix that. You see? I'm moving it, but this thing is actually not moving until I move it further down. The valve itself, so it doesn't engaging the valve. So it has, the way they have these springs built, it has that gap. There's a company who offer parts for that, or you can just press these two springs closer together, so it's gonna initiate it quicker. For me, my bike is good. I don't need any of that. Okay, let's start putting it together and start it up. I don't have to tell you, but I'm sure you know, you gotta replace all of the gaskets, but you can. This kit is from Rocky Mountain ATV, made by Moose, I think, something. I don't know. Moose Performance. But yeah, you just want to make sure you're replacing all of these gaskets as much as you can. If you're having a hard time to putting the rings on, like I do, and you want to make sure it stays safe, you may want to put some grease on it. That's kind of make it stays in place. Not much, a little bit will do. Like so. Otherwise you're gonna have a hard time to putting together, because these rings are bigger. I mean, it looks like bigger than the space is. So what I did to clean this out, I cleaned the cylinder out completely. I used W40 first. I used brake cleaner. That's what you're gonna say. Oh my God, you're crazy. Then I used a W40 to clean the whole thing, and now I'm gonna put oil everywhere, like 2-stroke oil, to have a nice start. Alright, again, we're gonna go with the Dominator by Amsoil and just, fill it up nicely. The reason why I use brake cleaner, because there's a bunch of stuff still on the cylinder wall what you want to remove. If you don't want to hone the cylinder, you gotta remove that somehow. That's the easiest way to do it. And if you do all this process like W40 and regular oil, then it's not gonna harm your cylinder. Boom. Like so. All this comes with the kit. If you get the piston from Bushner, you're getting all that stuff. Whew. A lot of weight saving on this one. Man, this bike is gonna fly. I'm telling you. Let me see just a quick number. 4.8. 5.4. Oh my god. That's crazy. Good. Okay. Now we can start putting it together. Good. Whew. You gotta make sure this is right. Okay. I go with 18 on the headboards. Alright, so don't just tie the engine mount brackets down. You want to have 24 foot-pound or less, depends, because this is helps your bike to flexes more, you know. Very important. Don't just tie them down, torque it down. Alright, so we're gonna start this baby up, and I don't have antifreeze in here. If I did something wrong, you know, I might take my chances of, you know, taking it apart. It's not gonna work, whatever. Together and it runs good. So to break in the engine, what you want to do at least 2 heat cycles. Have the engine warm up completely by idling, and then have it cool it down. Repeat the process, and don't rev the throttle. You know, just keep it idling, and that's how you want to get it started. Already, first ride after the piston replacement. This is gonna be like a little, you know, warming up ride and just breaking in, not revving it all out. I will say it changed the bike significantly. This bike was quite powerful before, but now became even more powerful. Not much, it's just the throttle response became even more crispier than it was before. Down below. These new GoPros sometimes just feel like they just want to stop all of a sudden. Something with the SD card, I don't know what the heck. I mean, it's the same SD card, and sometimes it takes it, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, so the throttle response, it became much more crispy than it was before. Very instant. Not much room for error on this bike right now. Very good power down below. It's not lacking any torque right now. Freaking monster. Just wanna go so bad. Even with not revving, it's so much fun. Let me see if you are still on camera. Yes, we are. What a surprise. Alright, let's keep charging. I kind of feel like it has a little deeper sound than it was before. Or maybe I just kind of mesmerizing this bike. I just love it so much. I cannot believe it. Hopefully the 4-stroke 450 Yamaha is gonna get done soon. We have the part power coded right now. Hopefully it's gonna get done soon, so I can have a little bit of fun with that. I can tell you that bike has its own surprise as well.
It's a Yamaha. What else do you expect? Other than surprise in a good way. What a machine! Let me take it to the small track. A little bit messing around with it. The bike is so predictable, tells me in advance, you mess it up, you're gonna crash. Literally, I can feel that before it happens. The front is just so transforming information like crazy. With this triple clamp setup, 22mm offset, huge. I have right information just before it happens. It says screw, you're gonna screw it up, so I'll be able to put my leg down just in time to avoid crashing. Freaking amazing this bike is.